Well, so tomorrow, November 6, 2018, you're going to go vote for a Democrat or a Republican for the lesser of the two evils as you see it. Well, I can tell you that you already lost, and this is a historical fact because both parties are against working class and poor people in the United States. They make us work and they make us poor by making themselves rich. So we'll start this story back in the days of Ronald Reagan. First of all, he cheated his way in there by making a deal with what that time was the enemy and still is the enemy, Iran, to keep the hostages keep them held as hostages until he became president. And then he had this wonderful thing called the trickle-down theory, where he enriches the rich people and then it's supposed to trickle down to the rest of us. He busted unions, and then he had a illegal war going on in Sandinista in Nicaragua, where he used Iranian money through weapons that he sold to Iran and backed up coups and killers that were schooled in what's called the School of America on how to just torture and kill people. Not very good. Not very good for any of the working class people at all. He busted unions, the airport okay, you know what I mean. The people that watch the planes and controllers, he busted their unions. He's not for workers. He was bad. Then we got his his vice president was George Herbert Walker Bush, and he gave tax breaks to the rich, and he he did the savings and loan bailout, and his kids were involved in it, so he ended up really giving his kids a bunch of money, and it was 132 billions the savings and loan scandal cost taxpayers. So if you think you're a Republican and you think that these people are doing something for you, sorry, you're stupid. And then he also tricked Saddam Hussein, who was one of our allies at the time, into going into Kuwait, because Kuwait was actually part of the same area Iraq was, and then he used that as a pretense in order to go to war with them, and that cost over $1 trillion, and the money went to his military-industrial complex buddies, so he wasn't very good neither. And then we come to Bill Clinton. See, Bill Clinton, he seemed like he was maybe for us or whatever. Oh boy, now we finally got a Democrat in there. Whoopie-doopie-doo. Well, what he did was he repealed the Glass-Steagall Act, and that protected us from bankers from making risky deals and from profiting off of banking, and so they could combine insurance and investment banking and commercial banking, like getting loans for houses and farms and things. So that was not so good. And then he championed NAFTA, North American Free Trade Act, and that was basically an international corporate giveaway, so that his corporate buddies could make more money and screw the workers in the United States and screw the workers around the world. So that wasn't very nice. That wasn't very democratic of him. And then besides that, then he had this big crime bill thing where he helped start the private prisons for profit industry and put people in jail for like non-violent drug crimes and other things just so that his buddies can make a ton of money. He's a scumbag too. He was terrible. So there you go. There's a Democrat for you, you Democrats. Think about it. And then we had the Republican George Bush Jr., who was with a Project for a New American Century and planned a new Pearl Harbor attack so that they could justify going into Iraq one more time and going into Afghanistan and costing $2 trillion in a lot of American lives and killing like 500,000 to 1 million Iraqi people. And then let's see, what else did he do here? I think he had some more tax breaks for the billionaires too, but we'll just leave it as that. And now we got Obama, who now, compared to this Trumpski, he seemed pretty dang good. He really did, in comparison, the lesser of two evils. And as a senator, what he did was advocate for bailing out the bankers. He championed the banker bailout and got rewarded for it. And that cost taxpayers $700 billion. And then they tell us that the bankers paid it all back. But how they paid it back is because the Federal Reserve and the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland added $15 trillion to the money system. So they bought it with fiat money they created from nowhere. So we got screwed again by Obama. And then he didn't get us out of any wars. He kept the wars going. He kind of slowed down the war in Iraq, but we're still there. He didn't get us out of Gitmo, where they're, still probably torturing prisoners. And what else here? And he went into Somalia and expanded the war there. And then his Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act is just more private insurance for profit health care. The insurance CEOs, health insurance CEOs, make like, some of them still are making like tens and even $100 million a year off of insurance. So how many doctors could that have trained? How many nurses could that have trained? How many hospitals can be built so that one guy can be a sociopath, a pathological, lying, cheating sociopath, like, oh, I'm king of the forest, that's crazy. That's not what democracy or a constitutional republic is about. And now we got Trump. Can you believe it? What an idiot. The stuff that he says day in and day out, and how he's like just stealing and lying to America, and then his idiot sheeple love him. It's terrible. So now, this election, I'm an independent candidate, and I stand for direct participatory democracy and for the start of a national referendum and recall process to be added to our Constitution so we can get rid of these scumbags. We have to step up to the plate. We have to actually become our government. And if we don't, you people that are voting for Democrats and Republicans are going to get exactly what you deserve, and it's not going to be pretty. So just think about this, and maybe in 2020 I'll run again and we can get this stuff straightened out and actually give each one of us a meaningful vote on the legislation before Congress, a vote that counts. Thank you. I'm Ken Dreesen, and I approve this message. Good day.